Could you just talk about the offense? Did you feel like that transition didn't go well?
Well, we did try to go up tempo, try to run some no huddle. We wanted to try to spread it out a little bit more and get some of our guys out there in space. Didn't have an awful lot of success. You know, historically, I guess that's the right word. Boise State's defense has been pretty good. It's not like they're not one of the top defenses in America, at least statistically. But I think we'll continue to do that. I don't think we're going to stop trying to do that. And, we just got, you know, no matter what you do offensively, whether you go no huddle or not, you got to execute. You got to get first downs. You got to make plays. Whether we huddle or not, had a bearing on the game at all.
Mark, I know you haven't watched film, but just from being on the sideline, what were you most disappointed with tonight for the first time out?
Most disappointed. Well, first of all, we lost the game. But I'm trying to think of anything in particular. I think third down, our protection on third down is a little disappointing. I think the majority of our sacks came on third down. First, second down, I thought we protected pretty good. I think offensively that was an issue. We couldn't get them off the field once they got going in the second half. There's a couple times we got them off the field, but just not enough.
Coach, right here in the front, right here.
Coach, you talk about just the lack of pressure on Moore. I mean, I know he's getting the ball over quick, but y'all didn't get a single sack tonight.
Yeah, well, you know, he's a very good player, so he knows where to go with the ball, when to go there. But they protected him well. He rarely got knocked down. We forced a couple, forced him to throw the ball probably a little sooner than he wanted to a couple times. But as you said, no sacks. And you know, a lot of times if you got a team behind and they've got to throw on third down and long, you got a better chance to get a sack. Basically what happened to us, but we didn't get enough pressure on him. But when you run and play action pass well, it's hard to get that rush.
Mark, you look like you had a lot of hard time blocking them clean in the running game, and like
Say again.
Had a hard time blocking their defensive front clean for the running game. But like Isaiah kind of had to, and the other backs had to do a lot on their own, kind of to get yards really hard.
Yeah, it wasn't real clean. They did a couple things different. They did a little bit more stemming or you know, movement, late movement. But yeah, we just didn't block it clean enough to give them some space to really make some things happen. Just a couple times we did, but you're right. The backs had to earn everything they got.
Over here in the corner, right here.
Coach, you've been pretty complimentary of Boise State. Seeing him in person, what stood out about them that maybe you hadn't seen on film?
Nothing really. We went in having an awful lot of respect for them. They're a very good football team. They're good on both sides of the ball. Very veteran defensive football team. An awful lot of experience on the offensive side of the ball as well. You know, the key spots. And you know, they get after it. They did a great job.
Okay. Right here.
Right. Well, you know, we get a little time to think about that as far as what adjustments and things like that we'll have to do when we do play in South Carolina. You mentioned big Alshon, the big, tall, physical receiver. You know, we'll have to do a better job we did a year ago on the quick screens and things of that nature. But you know, we've got time to work on that and think about that.
Okay, right here.
Coach, how does playing in the kickoff game compare to other big games your team's played in?
Say again?
How does playing in the kickoff game compare with other big games you've played in?
I mean, it's a big game. It's a big atmosphere. I thought the crowd was into it. I thought the kids were excited on both sides. I thought everybody was excited. There was a lot of buzz around the city, a lot of buzz around the dome, and inside. It's a great venue, and it's a great game to play in.
Did the hurry up and wait aspect of the no huddle, do you think that kind of threw off Murray's timing, particularly in the first half?
There was, the only hurry up and wait was just, trying to get into the cadence, try to see what they're playing, and then make the call. It's about 90% of America's doing that, so, there's a place for that. If you get something going on and you got some, you get some tempo and going, and it's not necessarily. Some people believe in just keep trying to run a play quickly to keep pressure on the defense, but the goal in that situation is to try to get a good feel of what they might be doing. There's just certain plays that, let's say for example, if you're going to run a bootleg, and if you see that the outside linebacker is going to blitz, it's probably not a very good play. If you get edge pressure off of a play like that, sometimes it's not good. So you could just call it blindly, and if you guess right, it's good. If you guess wrong, you get hit in the mouth. So that's just one example of a time that you might want to see what's coming before you just blindly call it.
Okay, over here on the side right here.
Yeah, Coach, any updates on Ogletree and Gates, and just talk about losing those two guys pretty early?
Right. Well, Ogletree was probably between Christian Robinson and Ogletree, we really couldn't afford to lose one of those two guys. The drop off was going to be pretty steep with true freshmen and a walk on in there, and these are good kids, and they're busting their tail, but it was just a position we really didn't feel like we could afford that type of an injury. And I got to get with Ron really to find out exactly what's going on with Tree. Gates, Gates leaving was not good for Georgia, not good for Gates, but Dallas Lee's a guy that we felt comfortable that he'd go in there and play guard. I'll have to watch the film to see how he did, but as a coach, you don't want anybody to get hurt, but in certain spots, you feel like you might could take a hit there, and be, hit here or there and be okay. The linebacker position is one that we just weren't too thrilled about losing anybody, and unfortunately we lost Allen.
We're going to go right here.
Coach, with the excitement of the game, as you mentioned, did you feel your guys may have been a little too excited coming out right at the beginning of the game?
Oh, I thought both teams were kind of maybe a little bit overly excited, a couple of mistakes early on, but I think everybody settled down and started playing relatively quick.
Okay, over here.
Mark, how big of a deal was field position, especially in the first half?
Well, it didn't. We were in a bind. We decided to take the ball first. Didn't get much going, as you mentioned. Didn't do much. Maybe too excited or whatever you want to say. And then we were kind of backed up a little bit. But then we had the long touchdown to Boykin, had a 7-0 lead, and then we were just back to normal position. So it didn't really cost us. We had a 4th and 1 early in the game where I decided to go for it, and I did that because I felt like we get 1 yard, and I also felt like more than likely, touchdowns were going to be what was going to be needed to win the game. And I know we got a great field goal kicker, and he certainly could have made that one. And maybe in hindsight, if I don't know we were going to get stuffed, I'd have definitely kicked the field goal at that time. But I think the field goal, the field position was a little rough early, but we kind of fought our way out of it and really got the first score of the game. So I don't think it mattered that much early on.
Okay, just time for a couple more right here.
I was going to ask about the 4th and 1, but talk about that. The touchdown they made at the end of the first half and coming out and scoring on you at the beginning. Yeah. Just how much did that change what you all needed?
Yeah, that was big. They got a 2-possession lead. But, as early as it was in the second half, it wasn't like anybody was, in a panic mode or anything like that. But it certainly makes it tougher when you're in a situation where you're 2 scores behind.
Okay, right here. Just speak to Isaiah Sproul and Malcolm Mitchell's debut tonight.
Yeah, I think both of them did well. I think Isaiah, once I watched the film, my guess is he got about as much as he could with what he had to deal with. And then, of course, Malcolm made a couple good plays. Nice reverse. Had a couple, 3 catches I see here, 64 yards and a touchdown. He's a good football player. And Orson played well.